output is just the result from the production, just the result. The outcome is mean we need to make another research, right, from the output, sell to the market, let's say, and what's the reaction from the customer, right? If the customer happy with that product and they buy that kind of product, so the outcome is success. So the outcome actually is another data we can find after we got the output. So the output is just the first step, and then the last step is the outcome actually, right? So how to measure efficiency and effectiveness? In econometric, you can use the same formula using the stochastic frontier analysis in the parametric method, or stochastic data envelopment, or data envelopment analysis in the non-parametric. Just change the data of output with the outcome if you have. So the measurement can be the same. Yeah? So the interpretation, it will be different. So in here, you already know what is the difference between output and outcome, right? So this is very basic, and this is very important in economic theory, right? So okay. So now let's move. So if we take a look from this graph, let's say for the x-axis I have dimension 1 and the y-axis I have dimension 2, right? Let's say dimension 1 is the risk, and then dimension 2 is for the return. If you take a look, the line here, right? If the point is fall in this line, so we can say this will be efficient. Right? DMU is mean data. This is the management unit, yeah, the DMU is order the data. So, but if the point is fall inside of the before the line, this one, so we can say that it's still not inefficient, because efficient it will be the ratio output and input must be equal to 1, right? So here it means there's something not reach 1, it's still 0 point something, right? So inside of the graph not reach the what we call the line here. Right? So that's why they come the idea of the DEA, yeah, or data envelopment analysis, and from parametric is stochastic frontier analysis, yeah, because this is the frontier actually. Yeah. So the line, this one is the frontier. Okay. Let's say that one. Right. So how to analyze data envelopment analysis? So before we go to the stochastic data envelopment analysis, so we can start with the data envelopment analysis first. So the ratio output and in input you can make in terms of the linear programming, right? Linear programming, so become this one. This is we would like to maximize the profit actually, right? Or you can minimize the cost. Yeah. So the objection, it could be maximize or minimize. So here the W is mean the weightage. So this is the advantage of the data envelopment analysis. You can deal with more than one output. Let's say, come back to the example, Samsung company. Samsung company not only produce handphone, they produce also laptop, they produce also a printer, they produce also car. But maybe in Indonesia, you cannot find a car brand of Samsung. But if you go to Korea, some of you went to Korea, you already know there's a brand car is Samsung, right? Or refrigerator or washing machine, for example. They have also brand Samsung. So they have many output. So actually the company, maybe they have different weightage, yeah? Which priority, which product priority for the Samsung. For example, they will be focused more to the handphone. So they will be give more weightage in the handphone, right? Also for the phi here is the weightage for the input, the same thing, right? So y is y is for output and x is for the input, right? And then of course here there is some constraint, right? You need to fulfill. But here we are not put any stochasticity. So all is deterministic, right? So here we still talking about the non-parametric method, right? Okay. So now, before I go to the stochastic data and form analysis, so better maybe you know, some of you maybe already know, especially for the lecture in the department statistics, mostly they know all these things, right? Data and form analysis. So they start in 1978. Yeah? It's a long time ago, right? And pioneered by Charles Cooper and Rhodes. So the first model we call CRR, yeah, or CRR is come from their name, Charles Cooper and Rhodes. And the model, the first model they introduced to the public is we call constant return to scale. So the variable all constant. But now we realize we cannot, in the reality, the application, we cannot hold all the variable constant, right? So in 1984, Banker, Charnas and Cooper, there's two other Charnas and Cooper, the same researcher as before. They called BCC. Yeah, BCC is the name of their. And then the name of the model we call variable return to scale. So now the variable can be up and down, right? According to the data. So not constant anymore. Okay. So now, since era 2000, I think, yeah, early 2000, more researchers now try to move from the DEA with involved stochasticity, right? So that's why now we are dealing with what we call stochastic data envelopment analysis, right? So here, the problem now to analyze the data envelopment analysis with using the LP or linear programming model become more complicated because you are involved the probabilistic, the stochastic, the element of the stochasticity there. So it will be more complicated, right? Okay. So here, actually, I just still talking about the deterministic model for the DEA. How about if the input, the DEA can be input oriented or can be output oriented? Right? Input oriented is mean we would like to maximize the profit, yeah? And then output oriented is mean we would like to minimize the cost. Right? Okay, so the model without this star, yeah, is mean the model for the constant return to scale. If we would like to be what is called variable return to scale, so it means we need to add this variable UG, variable VG, and so on. This one, right? And then the dual, there is in the linear programming. Will be minimum. Same thing for this second one. Okay. All right. So now we would like to put the element of stochastic in the model. All become like this one. So maybe the what is called the idea or is come from